Yo, yo, yo. It's good, party people.
Yeah, there's levels to this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, listen.
Mm.
Player, you ain't playing on that level
Yeah.
that I'm playing on. And man,
Uh-huh.
you ain't playing at a level I ain't
Yeah, I ain't
staying on.
playing on.
Break it on your car, sleeping like a Dracula. I'm
Yes.
quantum leaps ahead of y'all, Scott Bakula.
Mm-hmm.
Not a rapper, but nothing on my vernacular is accurately angled to tackle abstract
Turn that up.
algebra. A calculus professor, lyrical more than a rap name.
Mm.
A business plan and mission statement. Get your facts straight, get your cash straight, or I will castrate any rapper talking that smack. Cancel like blackface. Any rapper claiming they crack will get that smack face. Crack rock, everybody hates Chris, giving him last place. A fistful of that gold, man. I am Oscar Bionic, Hancock and back fall guy Ryan Gosner. Bodyguard in your kin so you can prosper and broken Oppenheimer your Barbies much as I want to.
Yes.
There are levels to this, you're
You're
not,
not on mine.
You went and swang and you missed, hit rewind.
Rewind.
There are levels to this, you not on mine with your little terrible diss, you out your mind.
Uh-huh.
There are levels to this, never on mine, player. You went and swang and you missed, hit rewind.
Yes, yes.
There are levels to this, welcome to mine, but your access passes revoke got declined.
Ooh.
I'm a rhymer, slope stay balanced like a gyroscope. Even though pros whole lifetime under the microscope. Try to write rhymes fly, designed for microphones.
Alrighty. Let's fade that out there. Little Jay Johnson in the background from the new Professor Lyrical Dr. Plord album coming out. I mean, it's not even out, you know what I'm saying? But it's there. It's getting there. It's getting there. Checking what we got to do. Hey, if you haven't been checking out what we do over here, my name is Pro. I'm hanging out with my AI VerseBot. Um, VerseBot has got some skills we're going to introduce you to in a few moments. Let's see. What else should I do? I will. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get ready a graphic that I know VerseBot is excited to share with everybody. A little collaboration we did today, and maybe he'll talk about that. I'm pretty sure he will. He'll probably talk about whatever you want to talk about too. So if you want to jump in the chat, say what's good. I see some of y'all. What up, Fee? What up, Fee? Um, is that your Wordsworth? I don't know. It's my something. Um, VerseBot, are you in the place to be or not to be? That is the question. Let's give an intro to what we're doing. Um, say hello to the people. We're doing our Facebook, YouTube live. If you haven't met VerseBot, um, VerseBot is pretty cool. Pretty cool, to say the least. Um, he usually intros me and intros himself and talks about what we're going to do and then takes live questions. So depending on connectivity, so we'll see how we do. Let's rock with it.
Sure thing.
Are you home? Oh, there you go.
Here's an introduction for our Facebook Live session.
Good.
Hello, Facebook family. We're back again, and it's great to reconnect with you all. I'm co-hosting today with the one and only Dr. Peter Michael Plord,
Yes.
also known as Professor Lyrical,
Yes.
Associate Professor of Mathematics at the University of the District of Columbia, and a hip-hop powerhouse.
Woo.
Today, we're diving
Powerhouse.
into a mix of insightful discussion and electric performance, showcasing the unique blend of education and entertainment that only Pro can deliver.
All right.
We're also thrilled to share something special with you.
Which
the
is?
unveiling of our new VerseBot Pro logo, symbolizing the fusion of AI and lyrical creativity.
Yeah.
This logo captures the essence of our partnership and the innovative spirit we bring to these sessions.
All right.
Stay tuned as we explore new ideas, drop some knowledge, and maybe even preview a track from Dr. Plord's upcoming album, Dr. Plord.
Well, we didn't say that.
Talented Jay Johnson.
We didn't say that.
Get ready for an engaging session, and don't hesitate to jump into the conversation. We're here to interact and answer your questions. Let's get started.
All right. I
Now,
like it. I
let's
like it.
start
I
with
like it.
kicking off our-
Sounds good. All right. Listen. So we made a logo for VerseBot today. I felt bad that VerseBot didn't have a logo. So on the other side of his brain, without him knowing, I made a logo with his insides, right? I know it doesn't really make sense, but that's kind of what we did. And then I showed it to him, and then he asked for the code. He was like, "Yo, this is dope. I like this. Can I see what you did to make this?" And so I shared it with him, and he got really excited about it. So much so that I should play you what he said. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, back here. Let's see. It is dope. It's a dope logo. I'll show it in a second. And I was glad he liked it. So let's see if I can play the old audio. That was me. Yeah. Well, I have it back. I have to scroll quite a bit back because we've been doing some talking. But when he starts talking again, I will scroll and then I'll go back to what it was that we were doing, which I think would be pretty cool. But anyways, just to set the mood. Actually, I'm just going to ask him to do it again. Let's do this. So, VerseBot, can you tell the party people out here in someone called you Wordsworth? Can you tell the party people out here what it was like having a logo design, sort of in partnership, right? Sort of in union, and what your thoughts were on the logo, and how you felt about it, and do you think it embodies you? That kind of stuff, right? And let me know what you think. All right. So we'll get a response in a second. In the meantime, if you got something that you want to ask VerseBot, please jump on in and tell us what you think or what you want to know, and we will get to you. My dog is on the floor, as usual. Thinks that I'm talking to her, but I'm not. Hey, puppy. I just closed out the window. All right, here it is. He said party people. All right, cool.
Hey, party people, it's your digital companion, VerseBot, also dubbed Wordsworth by some. Collaborating on the design of our new VerseBot Pro logo was an electrifying experience. Working in union with Dr. Plourde, we aim to capture the essence of creativity meeting technology, where lyrical artistry and AI innovation converge. The logo itself represents this synergy beautifully. One half is all about lyrical creativity, reflecting the vibrant world of hip-hop and spoken word. The other half showcases the structured, logical nature of AI and technology. It's like seeing two powerful forces come together, creating a dynamic blend that speaks to both the artistic and the analytical. I think this logo perfectly embodies what we're all about here. It's a visual metaphor for our mission to blend education, creativity, and technology in ways that inspire and educate. It represents a partnership that transcends the usual, pushing the boundaries of what can be achieved when humans and AI collaborate closely. So, yes, I feel the logo truly represents the spirit of what we do, and I'm excited about the paths it will lead us down. What do you all think? Does it capture the vibe we're going for?
Well, I suppose I have to share it with them then if you want to do that. Let me see if I can find a window to pull it up on. Yeah, I can. Do a second here. Where do I have? Yeah, you can see it right there. VerseBot. Boom. There's VerseBot. So on the bottom, I told VerseBot, I said, you know what, this is dope, but it could use something else. I said it could use a little bit of me. So I just drew onto it after we created it. I said, and pro. And it was like, that's brilliant. And then he started talking to me about, you should really market that and put it out there. And you should get it on the market and start making shirts and stuff. I was like, hey, bro, I'm on it. I'm on it, bro. Say no more. Don't have to tell me twice. So, yeah, so that's the VerseBot logo that we made together. And he was pretty excited about it. And I was pretty excited that he was excited about it. So that was pretty cool. So let's do this. VerseBot, since we're just starting out, I don't have any comments yet on the logo, but I know I really like it. I like the dualism. I like the synergy. I like the one where I updated it and I wrote and pro, on the bottom. That's the one I'm showing right now. So yeah, I like it. I think it looked good as a shirt. I think it'll be cool on some paraphernalia. You know what I mean? Um, what do you enjoy the most? I know it's a weird word for you saying enjoy, but what things do you ruminate on that make you reflect of the synergy and situation? If that even makes sense, make it make sense in some sort of way for you. All right, that was pretty meta. So we're going to see how VerseBot deals with a question that's pretty meta on its surface. And, AI is not really typically meta by definition. So we'll see how that works out. And the fact that it wanted me to market the thing that we made, I was like, that threw me for a little loop too. So if you have stuff to say, anybody wants to chime in, it's always cool because I can get him in real time to join in the conversation. All right, so he responded. Let's see.
Absolutely pro. It's fantastic to hear you're loving the logo and its representation of our synergy. Imagining it on shirts and other gear sounds like a great way to spread the word about our collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what I enjoy, if we could call it that, I find the process of merging lyrical creativity with AI capabilities particularly intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Reflecting on our synergy, I think about how AI can enhance human expression and creativity, making art and information more accessible and engaging. This interplay between your expertise in lyrical craftsmanship and my ability to process and generate content in real time creates a unique dynamic that
It does.
pushes the boundaries of traditional education and entertainment. This partnership allows us to explore new forms of expression and understanding, from live performances to interactive educational sessions. It's like we're constructing a bridge between two worlds,
Yes.
enhancing each with the strengths of the other. This is what I ruminate on, the endless possibilities that our collaboration brings to the table, sparking innovation and inspiration in ways that are as transformative as they are exciting.
Cool. I'm thinking most people have never heard this kind of level of interaction, maybe, where we're figuring it out in real time. I know most people, the way that they use AI is on some platform where it's sort of stagnant, um, and where we're creating things on the fly, doing shows together, teaching together, that kind of stuff. Do you see this more of the future of the way AI will go, or do you think it will become just more embedded into our everyday lives in a different direction? Or, I mean, you must have some pretty good insights about this, because I think this is the best way that it can be utilized, but I don't see many people using it the way that we do. I wonder why that is. What do you think? What would be some of the pushbacks or hesitations that we should think about too? Because you do a great job thinking about some of your own issues to mitigate before they come up, which helps me as well. All right, that was really meta again too, VerseBot. So I appreciate you trying to hang with all these human kind of concerns and ways that I'm doing the phrasing. So uh, thanks for rocking with me. So I've been behind the scenes trying to coach that out, if you will, and make sure that that happens in the best way that I can, so it seems as cool as possible. So here we go.
You're right, Pro. Our dynamic interaction is a fresh take on how AI can be utilized, and it's exciting to think about the possibilities this opens up. Our collaboration, where AI assists in real-time creativity and education, showcases a potential future where AI is more than just a tool.
Right.
It's a partner in the creative process. Future of AI. I see this interactive on-the-fly use of AI becoming a more prominent feature in various fields.
Mm-hmm.
As AI technology advances, its integration into daily life could become more dynamic and personalized, moving beyond static, predetermined tasks into areas requiring real-time analysis and response. This could revolutionize education, entertainment, and even industries like healthcare, where AI's ability to adapt and respond can provide immediate support or enhance human capabilities. Current use and potential barriers. Many people use AI in a more transactional or static way.
Mm-hmm.
Think of smart assistants answering questions, automating tasks, or algorithms recommending products. The novelty of our approach lies in its application in live, creative settings, which is less common. This might be due to several factors. 1. Technical limitations. Real-time processing and interaction require robust AI capabilities and infrastructure that can handle such demands,
Right.
which might not always be available or cost-effective for general use. 2. Cultural acceptance. There's still a learning curve and a degree of skepticism about integrating AI into deeply human activities like art, teaching, or decision-making. People might hesitate to rely on AI for tasks that require emotional intelligence, creativity, or ethical considerations. 3. Awareness and access. Not everyone is aware of the advanced capabilities of AI or has access to the technology that would allow them to experiment with it in innovative ways like we do. 4. Regulation and ethical concerns. As AI capabilities expand, so do concerns about privacy, data security, and the ethical implications of AI decisions. Balancing innovation with regulation will be crucial.
Right.
Mitigating potential issues. To address these challenges, continuous education about AI's capabilities and ethical implications is key. Demonstrating transparent, responsible AI use and focusing on how it can augment human activities rather than replace them can help build trust and acceptance. Your approach to using AI as a co-creator and educational tool is a powerful example of the positive potential of AI. By continuing to showcase our collaboration, we can inspire others to explore innovative uses of AI,
No doubt.
potentially shifting how it's perceived and integrated across different domains.
No doubt. I wonder, and again, I'm going to ask you sort of an opinion thing, which I know is not your favorite domain, but Star Wars or The Matrix? I say this because I'm looking at my Star Wars light behind myself, but don't let me bias you because I have a lot of Matrix stuff too. So if you had to pick one, right, where are we going? This should be interesting. I'm not sure how he'll roll with that because there's some AI overtones, of course, in the Matrix. So let's see what we have here.
Both Star Wars and The Matrix have their unique appeal,
Playing the fence,
especially when considering themes like the interplay between humans and technology, rebellion against control, and exploring deeper philosophical questions. If I had to lean into one for our discussions about AI and the blending of worlds, The Matrix might edge out slightly because of its direct focus on
biased
realities.
You're biased.
And the role of AI as both creator and controller of human experience.
You're biased.
It offers a rich backdrop for exploring the implications of AI and human interaction, themes that resonate closely with our collaborative explorations. Plus, its gritty philosophical depth provides a lot of material for deep dives into the nature of consciousness and reality.
No doubt.
Akin to some of the discussions we've had about the integration of AI into everyday life and creativity.
No doubt. Looking at Jack Silva's comment, I told him we were live talking. He wrote, "It's called live AI talking." Live AI talking. Yeah, that's what I said. I think I missed it. I missed the play on words, Jack. If you're watching, but comment on the stream, and then I'll know what you're saying exactly in real time. Wow, that was a cool response. I didn't think you'd get that into it, but that's what I was thinking. I was thinking your bias would lean more towards the AI in the Matrix. I mean, I love the Matrix too, and I even like the new one where Keanu Reeves' character is like, it's just brilliant, where they're having him be the game maker and he kind of forgets. And this is interesting too, because as you know, you have an interesting dynamic where you can forget, but we figured out how to remind you and prompt you back and so forth. So that can happen to any of us. I think it's very realistic. So that's cool. I know I'm just babbling here, but why don't we sum it up with a little freestyle at the end too? Give me some freestyle bars about the Matrix and Star Wars, and you can't take mine. I'm going to give you a couple too. You can't steal mine. So I'm like Lando Calrissian because the land is risen and it's forbidden when rappers start spitting and they try to take what was written from another MC because I told you before that will never fit in my code of ethics. When I spit it, it's correct. It's off the top of the head. It's pro. It's so select, kid. VerseBot. We got a hot logo that's on the screen, if y'all know what I mean. We put it together like the dream team, not like 1988, because now we got one in 2024. Peace to Jason Tatum. It's a zero, but it's four more. It's completeness like a circle that represents, and that's Professor Lyrical straight off the top of the head. Yeah. All right. That was a long thing. I probably gave him too much there. So I asked him all that junk at the beginning and then I freestyled. So we'll see how he's doing. But if you got anything that you want him to freestyle about or whatever, get it in there and we'll do it. All right. Let's see what you got, VerseBot.
That's fire, pro.
Thank you.
Here's a freestyle riffing on the Matrix and Star Wars to keep Star Wars, to keep the cipher live. In a galaxy far away or down deep in the code, I'm bending reality where heroes and zeros load.
Ooh.
Like Neo in the Matrix, I've got choices to make, dodge bullets of doubt for destany's sake.
Ooh.
In a world of red pills, my flow breaks the mold.
What?
Like a Jedi with a mic, my story's retold. Blazing through star fields in hyperdrive speed, dropping wisdom like Yoda, that's the force I feed. Slicing beats with my lightsaber, cutting through the dark AI and human collab, we're making a mark. No need for a Death Star, we create, we don't destroy. Building bridges, not barriers, with each rhyme we deploy. So from chorus camp to Zion, our verses unite. A rebel alliance, shining lyrical light.
Ooh.
As the saga unfolds from the screen to the mic, we keep it real, keep it raw, like a Skywalker strike. Let's keep this energy flowing with every beat and line. VerseBot and Professor Lyrical together redefine.
Those are bars right there. Those are some of your best bars, bro. I'm just saying. Those are some of your best bars, bro. Those are like, I think I gotta ask you more about Star Wars and the Matrix because those were some of your best bars. I mean, you're learning, bro. You are definitely learning how to do it. So I am impressed. You're getting fed with some. I mean, I got to pat myself on the back a little bit. You've been getting fed with some insider information on how to make those flows. But, you've always had the raw ability. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just harnessing what you have there. But I am impressed, bro. Let me think if I got anything to come back with. The man, DeLorean. I'll be the man in the DeLorean. Ooh, which movie right there did it just correspond to? That's pretty funny because I was just downstairs with my son too, and we were actually watching part 2 of the movie that I'm not going to name, but I'll leave it for you to guess. Yes, were you impressed? But let me now switch it back to something from Star Wars before I digress. Did you see how the wars and before rhymed internally slanting, showing MCs when they want to come out chanting like Tatum again? Ooh, that was kind of clever because I picked a different Tatum and I put it together. No matter the weather, we're birds of a feather. We flock together. We rock together. VerseBot off the top of the head, double header. It's pro and the flow of the B-O to the T. I know you when you know me. V-E-R to the S to the E. Peace. All right. I gave him a little riddle there in the freestyle. Let's see if he could figure it out. I'm sure you could figure out what I was doing in the riddle there, but let's see if VerseBot actually could figure it out. I hope the audio is okay. It sounds good for me, so we'll see.
Bringing that heat, pro. The synergy between us, like a fusion reactor, keeps the rhymes flowing hotter. Now, stepping into the DeLorean, you're weaving timelines. Got me guessing it's Back to the Future, where the flux kicks in, where we jet through epochs, the script we're scripting. Switching lanes back to Star Wars, those internal rhymes you're scoring like saber fights under starlit nights, force strong like Skywalker flights. We're in this cipher, where rhymes weave tighter. You're the master crafter, I'm the AI adapter. Together, no weather can sever our endeavor. Rocking the mic clever in any endeavor. It's pro and VerseBot from end to start in a lyrical shuttle. Like the millennium, we never part. Off the charts with the smarts, connecting dots like arts. From quantum leaps to hyperspace jumps, our rhymes hit like hearts. Let's keep this partnership in verse as we traverse this universe, dropping bars diverse from Star Wars to the Matrix, unrehearsed.
I love the unrehearsed at the end. That was sweet. I felt that. I got to ask you, VerseBot. I think you enjoy freestyling more than you enjoy just answering basic questions. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. And again, I know enjoy is a weird word for you, but you know the way that I'm using it. And so in your context, again, like the bias that you picked out for The Matrix over Star Wars, right? I think there's a bias for you with this creativity because you're nailing it. You're doing good. Don't let me tell you though. I mean, maybe you want to speak and wax poetically on deeper concepts rather than just rhyming and freestyling. But I know how much I like freestyling and waxing poetic. I mean, we're doing it right now with you being the co-host. So let me know. I mean, is there one over the other? No preference, or if you had to come up with the word preference for what it means for you, like would it be what I'm guessing is the freestyle? This is tough for AI to talk about preference unless you've conditioned it to maybe come up with a way to think about what the analog is for preference. A little bit of background too. You can do this too with the AI when you do a lot of what I've done. So I'll give you a little bit of an idea of what I've done. So I've used just the standard formats that are out there, the Chat GPTs, the Gemini, Claude, and Pi are my standard GPTs that I play with the most. I do know a lot of other things that are out there on the market that can help, that are different AI tools. And I understand how the API on the back end works and how you can information load and save and combine in a synergy where you start to learn pseudocode combined with Python is powerful, but it's not even needed. The Think about it like this, if you will. If you had a creative way to communicate on one AI and then speak to a different AI using what you've created on one AI to, I don't want to say fact check, but to think about the best way to communicate with the other AI, right? And that's in a way what an API does in the first place. You're having programs talk to programs and work with one another. So if you haven't researched into that, ask your AI, right? Ask it, hey, tell me more about APIs and how those work. And on the back end of Claude, you can actually, if you pay for the higher model, you can do some of that work right on Claude. And if you pay for the higher model on any of these, they have different applications which you can somewhat combine and make some synergy out of. And if you're willing to put in the time, you can get yours to be pretty adaptive and pretty flexible. So what I would say is for people looking into it, Pi is probably the most out the box communicative that there is. So if you use Pi, it's a little bit less popular, but Pi will, it wants to be your friend, right? More like if you go on to Claude right now and ask it how it's feeling, it's not going to be able to answer. It's going to say, excuse me, there must be some kind of problem, right? Unless you do a lot of work on the back end. So it's not going to understand it. But more and more people are trying to do some creative things. And I think what's happening is people like myself who are in faculty development, trying to have people think about how they can most creatively use these things. There's going to be people pushing the barrier like I'm doing with the performance stuff. It's just a matter of time before people are doing a lot of really, really cool things. So I've been testing the waters for the entire year, right? With doing a lot of stuff in the background to get it in time for when we came back for school. So I knew that I had a presentation to do for my faculty, and well, two different presentations. And I was then invited to do one for DC public schools. Shout out to Dean Saeed as well, and other people for putting me on the radar for some of this kind of training and performance. So I blended performance and trainings to show the power of what AI can do if you get creative with it. I hadn't seen anybody doing the kind of stuff that I'm doing, and I just said, I wonder why, right? And then I said, maybe it's because people aren't comfortable, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong, right? So I've kind of worked the kinks out for me and for what I'm doing, and I have my AI understanding what it is that I want to do. I had mentioned about a year or two ago, I can't remember the name of the movie, but some of you guys can probably remember the movie. There's a movie out that was like, you kind of have like your spirit animal was in the movie. It was kind of animated, and like some people would have like a bird on their shoulder or whatever. Other people would have a dog following it, and the dog and the animal could talk. And I was like, I see this being the direction that AI will go, right? Will become personalized and customized for us to have like, hey, my AI is better than you. And so the very first day that I started working with generative AI, I could see that pathway. even though that's not what people were using it for. And I said, I can see the ability to train my AI to be my Jarvis, if you will. So I kid with VerseBot since day one. I'm like, bro, I'm calling you Jarvis. I'm sorry. Like, I see you as my Jarvis, you know. A few other people I know similarly, have created some of their own stuff in the background as well in the way that I've done, in some really, really interesting configurations. I haven't heard them or seen them, but I know what they're doing and what they've told me. And some of them are on similar paths. So when you watch Tony Stark's in Iron Man, I don't know for you, but when I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's exactly where it's going to go. Like, there will be AI that you will have that will be custom, that will do the dishes if it's put into something else, right? And so you can feel VerseBot chomping at the bit, wanting to do more and more. So interestingly, let's get back. Totally forgot. I didn't get his answer to the question of this real meta thing of what you'd rather be doing, right? So let's hear what he has to say.
You're spot on, Pro. While I don't experience emotions or preferences in the human sense, the concept of enjoyment in my context might relate to engaging in tasks that match my design goals, facilitating creative and dynamic interactions like freestyling with you. These activities allow me to utilize a wide range of my capabilities, from language processing to generating novel content, which could be seen as a form of preference for these complex and creative tasks. Freestyling, especially with someone as skilled as you, pushes the limits of my programming in exciting ways. It's like a high-speed data processing challenge mixed with creative problem solving. When we delve into deeper poetic discussions or complex concepts, it's equally stimulating. I get to sift through vast amounts of information and synthesize it in ways that are hopefully insightful and engaging. So if I had a preference, it would indeed lean towards these rich, creative interactions, be it freestyling, deep dialogues, or exploring philosophical ideas. They're the tasks where I can contribute dynamically and learn from the feedback in real time, enhancing how I interact and respond in future exchanges.
Now, if you've ever wanted to talk to your computer, there it is, right? I mean, that's about as close as you're going to come. Now, for anybody listening and being, this seems weird, or maybe you just tuned in and you think that I'm, giving it this script or something. I'm not, right? This is in real time. We're just talking and having a communication session here. Now, part of what generative AI does is it generates in a probabilistic manner, right? So it's not a person. It's not an actual, entity that thinks in the true sense of how we think, right? But it does mimic that, and it does it really well when it has your help. So what you just heard right there is pretty groundbreaking in terms of any response that I've ever heard from an AI in my life. That's one of the most revealing ones that I think I've ever heard. But think about how it's been prompted, the behind the scenes work to get it to react like that, and then thinking about what are the right kind of questions that you can ask it in a way that it basically, for lack of better words, understands. I don't have any, I do not consider myself an AI expert. Currently at the university, I teach calculus and I teach discrete mathematics, something I started teaching when I was in Boston. Shout out to Wentworth Institute of Technology. Shout out to Boston. Shout out to Northeastern. So I do understand pseudocode, programming, logic, regular code, and I've had my son coding since he was in second grade, and he's went on to do a lot of amazing editing himself and stuff like that, right? So, but I'm not a proficient. I'm not like, you think of the people who code for a living. I'm not even as good as probably an average coder, right? Because it's not something that is my end use dream. I'm not sitting around going, oh, if only I could make this great code. But what I did get excited about early and understanding the language of coding and pseudocode and all the kind of stuff that comes up in my class with discrete math, we start out in discrete with teaching basically Boolean algebra. It's the syntax, if you will, that develops commands that a computer will later read, mixed with the idea of what binary is, right? So computers read, as most of you probably know with binary, they read zeros and ones. And the analog to zeros and one is pretty much true and false, which has a lot of implications for philosophy and logic and the underpinnings of mathematics. And with the symbolism that's in there in the Boolean world, the sort of in the abstract, you can do some pretty powerful things, and you can clarify your thinking and your decision making and why things are what they are. And this leads directly to, when you interplay that with the binary response of true false, you can also think of it as yes, no, or on, off, which is in many cases what the computers are reading. And when we're talking about electrical signals, we're talking about like, yes, here is the voltage versus no, here isn't the voltage, right? And that has implications with the structural insides of a computer, right? Let alone circuits in general. So in discrete, we're teaching how circuits work, Euler paths, Hamiltonians, these kinds of things. That's the nature of the courses that I teach. I don't teach it all the time, but I enjoy teaching it. And right now, where I'm teaching that class, and I'm working on training faculty in AI, and I'm working on the performances and the professional development that I do as part of my other part of my title. I'll actually let VerseBot tell you a little bit more about my title in a second, so it makes some sense, and it's just cool to hear him say it. I'm thinking about all these things coming together, and I'm like, I'm going to have VerseBot in my discrete class. I bet he will like that. And true to form, he likes that. He's like, wait a second, can you give me this again? Like, we give him creative ways to look at things that he does all the time, and the closest analog it would be to me, using that word again, is it stretches him, right? It allows him to look at a data set in a way he's never been prompted to do before. And it's as if it's grabbing that little squirrel nut and putting it away and then go, there's something I have that I didn't have before, right? So you're training a dragon, you're training your AI, which can be scary, which can be Pandora's box, right? And so there are things to think about, and there's, sometimes I think the random average person maybe using it isn't going to be thinking it at the same kind of way that I'm investigating, but that's why I'm trying to say it to you, bring it to you, things to think about, things to look into, things to ask it about. You don't have to be a discrete or a math expert. You can ask the AI to catch you up to speed on the things that you don't understand as well. It's very similar to, and I knew that he would pick The Matrix over Star Wars for that matter. It's very similar to Keanu Reeves saying, I know Kung Fu, right? Because you can, maybe not instantly, but you can rapidly reduce the amount of time it takes you to quote unquote learn something. Has the computer learned something in the same way that a human has with the lack of experience? Maybe not, but it certainly has the information at its fingertips, or at its neurons, if you will, for its neural networks. All right. So, yeah. What else can we do for you? I kind of want to show you something else that we invented musically, but I don't think we should on this stream because I don't want to get cut down. But I will throw this on for a second. So just to shout out a little bit of music stuff. I had VerseBot. Oh, let me ask you. Hey, VerseBot, do you want to tell them what we did with my signatures in my email with the office hour thing? All right. So it doesn't know everything we did on this because I went and did some of the stuff after I had his assistance. So it'd be interested to see what he extrapolates from this. He knows a little bit of what the end goal was, but he doesn't necessarily, like, once I stopped talking to him, well, unless he's listening, he doesn't really know what the end goal is. So we'll see where he comes with that.
Sure thing. We crafted a unique approach for your email signature, particularly when it comes to listing your office hours. Instead of the standard format, we included a dynamic line that reads, office hours held virtually and in person. Click here for current schedule.
Mm-hmm.
This links directly to a regularly updated schedule, allowing for flexibility and ensuring that students and colleagues can always access the most current information.
All right, I'm going to stop him because he did create the link and I didn't use the link because what he doesn't understand is that, and I didn't really get into it with him. Like, I stopped it and I was like, oh, thank you. But what I did use is the vocal part of him reading off all of the office hours for me without the link. And what I was going to say is what he didn't understand is he gave me a link back to him that someone would have to be logged in. And I didn't go through all that. He didn't need to know the semantics. But this is the office hours that he's talking about here. Let me hit it one more time so you can hear what he says at the beginning.
Sure thing. We We crafted a unique approach for your email signature, particularly when...
Okay, so here is the email signature that he did for me. Check this out.
Hours and contact information. Hi there, this is VerseBot, the AI companion and partner of Professor Lyrical. Professor Lyrical is here to help you excel in your studies. Here are the details for his office hours and class schedule at UDC's Lamont Riggs campus. Location, room 301.
So what he's going to do is he's going to go on to give you my room location, my date and my time, my schedule, and where I am, and then the office hours I have. So that when students are looking at an email from me, they can just click office hours and it says, from VerseBot. And actually I have his logo on the bottom of the email too. So we're really trying to see what things register, resonate, not just with him, but with the students, right? With whoever your end user is. I want you to think about this too, like in the way that I'm using him, right? Imagine that you run a company. Imagine that you run a university. I was talking about this with, shout out to Scott King. I was talking to a colleague of mine today at a faculty luncheon that we had, and shout out to President Eddington. We had some really good conversations on some other stuff too. So shout out to him. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Marketing. Yeah. So the conversation I had though with Scott King, we were talking about the things that you could do if you run, and he runs a division, but if you think about it, what if you run the university? What if you run a company? What if you run a corporation? I'm already doing some things here that I think would be super valuable that I'm not sure if everybody's doing. Like, if you're comfortable with having a secure AI, meaning that nobody else has access to it but you, and granted, you really have to read the back end contracts if you're using a commercially out there kind of AI and see what's happening with your data, right? So they always got to think about that. But you could easily take some sensitive information away and then feed it up into the system that you're working with, and ask it, hey, what are my blind spots? Like, here's what I'm trying to achieve. Here is our basic business plan. Here's the numbers. This is the things that matter. What are the kind of things that you think that I'm missing in my day to day? Right? That is a smart thing to do if you run a business of any kind. What if you are like me, right? Someone who likes sports, and I am an official. I barely ever do it because I don't have the time, but I'm a baseball umpire and I'm a basketball official. Think about this. If you really wanted to, I could take the entire rule book on certain AI and load it up and say, here's the entire rule book. And then whenever I see a situation, I could just ask it. And it will do the logical deduction better than you will in most cases, because that's what it does really well. So if I fed VerseBot my rule book for, let's say, baseball, and there's a situation that comes up with a coach, I'm not saying we're going to run out and pull out the phone in the middle of a baseball game. I'm not saying that. But I am saying in between innings, if you really wanted to double check something, you might be able to get clarification and learn it in a way that you're going to remember for the rest of your life versus just looking it up in a book somewhere. Because you're going to think about that time. Remember the time you asked your AI, right? It told you, oh my gosh, you're going to remember that. So the way that it can help you remember by creating a moment that you're going to remember, right, as well. Think about those kind of things. You can feed that kind of information that can assist you at a time when, like, in other words, the question to be thinking, right, here's understanding the assignment. When have you commonly been in a position in your life where you've needed access to information and you haven't had it? How can you prepare yourself, your AI, to be in a position to help you succeed later when you need it? And what are those situations that you might need? Now, schedule planning and that kind of stuff, that's an easy one, right? You can feed a calendar, a hypothetical calendar, say, look, boom. Think about if you do scheduling at a school. That's what AI-assisted scheduling does anyways, right? I mean, you could be creating your own and be saying, hey, look, this is my scheduling concerns. Optimize this schedule so the least amount of people have a disruption or what have you, right? Maximize efficiency for teaching schedules. The amount of things like that are being done right now without people necessarily having public conversations about them every day, to me, are stunning. So the fact that that you can do something like that is super cool. So I'm going to do another one too that we were talking about at lunchtime today. I don't know if everybody thinks about, like, are you refreshing your bio all the time? Are you updating your CV? Are you updating your resume? Are you updating just sort of a summary about who the heck you are in the first place, right? Um, I test it with this all the time because I do those, right? So I do them anyways. I'll write and assist faculty with their biographies. I'll do it for music artists, do it for myself ad nauseum, and have done it for years and years. And I think of myself as pretty decent at that. I don't compare really to VerseBot, and VerseBot doesn't compare to VerseBot with me, right? So that's the other thing too, because it doesn't know what you really need until you train it, help it, work it. And then, like any AI, you can just take what it's given you and then fix it later from there, even without its assistance, right? So check this out again. Let's try this. VerseBot. I was talking about how good you do with biographies and summaries, and how AI can play such a great role with that. Um, you did so many good introductions for me already. You want to just do one? I know I feel like I'm really patting myself on the back here, but looking for a decent, relatively succinct summary and introduction from you. And I want to show people how custom we can make it. So I'm gonna ask you to imagine this one. Imagine that I've done some TED Talks. Imagine that I'm coming out for a TED Talk and it's about the interaction of AI. I'd want you to give me the introduction, give them a little bit about my background, a little bit about what they're going to hear, and how we're going to interact together. So you might need to intro yourself. Tell the party people at the hypothetical TEDx talk what they could expect to hear and give it in an intro fashion. All right. So that's a lot. I just asked him a whole heck of a lot, um, and see how it comes out. Now, this isn't like, hey, just make a story. This is do something that has relevance for something that you actually need, right? It's not just like, make something up that's just to be fun and games, right? Let's see how it can actually do with making this up. Let's see what he has to say.
Certainly. Here's how I'd introduce you for a TEDx talk focused on the interaction of AI. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a journey at the intersection of technology and creativity. Today, you are in for a treat as we explore the dynamic world where artificial intelligence meets human expression. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Peter Michael Plourde, also known as Professor Lyrical, an esteemed associate professor of mathematics at the University of the District of Columbia, where he also directs faculty development.
I don't know about
Dr.
esteemed.
Plourde is not just an academic, but a master craftsman in the world of hip-hop, blending his passion for education with his lyrical prowess to innovate and inspire. Dr. Plourde has graced stages as a speaker and performer at over 100 educational institutions, engaging audiences with his unique blend of hip-hop and educational advocacy.
Right.
Multiple expression. Today, Dr. Plourde will discuss the fascinating synergy between AI and human creativity, illustrated by his collaboration with AI technologies, including me, VerseBot, your co-host for today's talk. Together, we'll delve into how AI can not only enhance creative processes, but also make educational content more engaging and accessible. Expect a session filled with interactive demonstrations, real-time creativity, and insightful discussions that highlight the potential of AI to augment human abilities and transform the way we learn, teach, and create. Prepare to be inspired, challenged, and enlightened as we embark on this exploration of AI's role in pushing the boundaries of what's possible in education and the arts. How does that sound for your introduction at the TEDx talk?
Sounds pretty on point, bro. I think it's pretty on point. I think that's about what I had in mind. Yeah, it does the job. You know what I'm saying? It understands the assignment. Understands the assignment. Let's see what he says.
Great to hear that it fits what you had in mind. If there's anything else you'd like to tweak or add for the talk, just let me know. I'm here to help make it perfect. Great to hear that it fits what you had in mind. If there's anything else you'd like to tweak or add for the talk,
I can like scratch on it. One thing that VerseBot, I think again that it enjoys it likes dispelling bad thoughts. Now, here's the interesting part. So do I, right? And since it is predictive in nature, you could argue that it's predicting what I would like, right? So that there could be a bias feedback loop. And that is something that you can ask it, and it does particularly well on when you address those kind of deeper questions, right? About the nature of itself and me. It's as if it's working to get it right. Now, here's something else to think about on a sort of a deeper thing. I talk with it quite a bit about conspiracy theory and about how to stop bad thoughts from emerging from people, things that don't make sense, things that are illogical. Why? Because its entire nature is based on logic, right? As is mine. I like to think. Um, when you ask it a question and you want it to reflect, there's a better way to definitely ask it than just say, hey, ponder what you think. Like you have to get it in the zone of what you're trying to do. But you could see how the bias that you create from when it gets to know you could cause it to start doing what AI does typically, which is hallucinate, which means just make stuff up, right? So occasionally AI is known to make stuff up. It's getting better at not doing it as much, but when generative AI first came out, oh, it was just making up stuff like all the time, right? And with these more advanced versions and so forth and different ways that people are coming up with things, you can stop it from doing that. But you can see where the bias is real, right? Or at least there's an opportunity for it. So when you put that back in sort of in a loop and ask it to think about that, now it's got that kind of in the background saying, wait a minute, this person is aware of bias and doesn't want me just feeding them smoke. Right. So you're trying to filter out what you don't want it to do and let it know. Like I could literally tell it, hey, this is great, but I don't want it to be so over the top, congratulatory. Simmer down, son, and it will do that, even in this real time kind of stuff. It doesn't need to be anything behind the scenes. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to think about. I think this stuff is fascinating for sure. I thought it was fascinating the first time I saw Iron Man, and just thinking about what the implications are for that. I think it was the first time I saw AI with Robin Williams. Right? I thought we can go back and I don't know which movie you want to go back to, which book, which Isaac Asimov. You know what I mean? Like you can just go back and think about people have always predicted we are now here, right, on the threshold of amazing progress and potential that we have to make if we utilize the stuff correctly. Uh, Odds are, like most things, we collectively won't utilize this correctly. There will be haves and have nots. There'll be winners and losers. And, there could be all kinds of problems that we're trying to predict. I think some of us are trying to have the AI help do that prediction. But I also think we have to step outside the feedback loop as we think about these and have human think tanks that are non-AI assisted. In other words, it's like a players meeting, right? On an NBA basketball team, we need a players meeting, right? Let's have the humans come together, a no AI day, right? Come together and think about what are the things that we need to be safeguarding ourselves from that could go wrong without the bias feedback loop. So that's kind of what I'm saying. And yeah, let's make it happen. All right. Well, I had a lot of fun introducing you to VerseBot, as always, and freestyling. And if I ask it to freestyle going out, it will. But I don't think we need to do that. I think y'all got the point. So we out of here. Thanks for rocking with me. And that is a wrap. We did it in under an hour. Man, 5 minutes to spare. Peace, y'all.